Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video. Today we're here back with episode 3 for chapter 4 of our F1 2021 Breaking Point content. Yes, we're back once more. Daily Breaking Point content still remaining on the channel. Obviously a massive thank you to all of you guys for the continued support on this series. If you missed out on yesterday's video, click the eye at the top right hand side of your screens. I'm not too sure which side it's going to be on. Obviously, yeah, you don't want to miss it out from the French Grand Prix. A very interesting race nonetheless, and of course even more delving into the storyline. We're getting a few more hints of what might be going on behind the scenes as well with Breaking Point. It certainly has been very good fun so far on F1 2021. But let's dive in then. Chapter 4 here today, the British Grand Prix, with Alfa Romeo continuing to show signs of improvement. The F1 world turns its eyes to Silverstone, a real test for rookie Aiden Jackson as he returns home with hopes of impressing the crowd and earning the support at the historic circuit. So, in the news before we dive into this weekend, then Fernando Alonso is making a comeback, of course, in 2021, joining Renault, who he drove for twice in his career. And, of course, Alonso left Formula 1 in 2018 to complete another motorsports, but it's rumoured for some time that Alonso has been in talks with the French-based squad, and he will be driving alongside Esteban Ocon, of course. Silverstone, of course, back racing at a legacy... Looking back at a racing legacy even, I can words. So 2020 marks the 17th anniversary. Ooh, an unknown caller. Let's see what that's all about.
Hello?
Hello, mate.
Who is this?
Oh, come on, keep up. It's Devon.
Butler?
The very same.
How did you get this number?
It doesn't really matter. Listen. I just wanted to pass on a bit of friendly advice.
Oh.
Now, it's always tricky racing on your home track. The pressure, all the fans watching, it's a nightmare.
Right, yeah, I imagine it is.
But if you keep your cool, you stay focused, you will get through it, okay? Just imagine it's a different circuit on the other side of the planet. Then, when your race does fall apart, it'll be a lot easier to deal with.
Yeah, great advice.
I knew you'd think so. Anyway, good luck out there today. Just try and make it to the end, eh? Ta-ta!
Yeah, good luck to you too. I'll see you later.
Well, how wonderful that was from Devon Butler. I've just noticed as well, Lucas Weber, our old teammate from F1 2019, is also back. He's a shame he's only a journalist now, which is a little bit gutting, I'll be honest. You know, he had quite a successful Formula 1 career back on F1 2019 in our series, but apparently no, he's given up the world of fast cars to sitting at a laptop writing about fast cars instead. Anything on the socials? We got a couple of things. Crofty coming in, saying obviously a big event for ourselves. Rosanna Tennant as well, saying obviously can't wait to see what happens. The magic is back. Hamilton's won 5 of the last 6 GPs at Silverstone. He's got to be looking pretty tasty for this. And fantastic work by Renault for signing Alonso. But anyway, any emails of any importance? We've just got a couple of random things about the Grand Prix weekend. Saskia Mills, just to let you know, she's here and should be looked after. Send me a message after the race and I'll bring her around to the paddock. Drive safe. So that's coming from our personal assistant. And then Colin Perry. This is Colin Perry from Trackside. Brian Doyle was kind enough to pass on your contact details and I thought I'd reach out. I'd dearly love to interview you for Trackside, and I've already done both Brian and Casper. It only feels right that we should have a chat too. Do let me know and feel free to fire across any questions you'd like me to ask. I'm more than happy to leave the content and approach up to you. So, we've got a head F1 columnist in the emails as well. But let's head to the race. So, capitalised on a fantastic Q3, Aiden Jackson is drawing one of the finest career performances when a front right puncture threatens to ruin his chances of a top 5 finish. With friends and family in the stands and the crowd behind him, Jackson sets sights on salvaging what he can from the race. This looks spicy. Let's get into it.
Tyres are gone.
Copy, Aiden. Box.
Copy.
Let's just minimise the damage.
Right, so, heading out onto the track then. I've got this puncture that we're going to have to try and get back to the pit lane. So let's pit in and get the tyres swapped and see if we can try and salvage some points out of this race. But we're going to do this. we're going to do this, I think, quite quickly. Might have forgot. Funnily enough, braking performance is a bit bad when you get a puncture on F1 2021. There you can see the tyre completely destroying itself as well. So let's actually... Oh, it is really difficult to get the car slowed down into the pit lane there as well. And now it won't even go at full speed into the pit lane as well. So, yeah, really, really struggling as we head into the pits. Come on, get the car into the pit lane here. I don't know, I think this has actually been a glitch on Silverstone in the past, I'll be honest. As we head round in the final corner there, we will now finally get the car into the box as well. Back up to 37 miles an hour as we get it into a straight line, and into our pit box we come. Let's just wait and see if we can try and get a fresh set of rubber on. We're going on to the softs to the end. We're going to be back out way down the order though. We've got to try and finish in 10th or above here. We're going to be out behind Latifi in this Grand Prix there. So really, yeah, way down the order. 7 laps to go though here from Silverstone. Oh, a big kick of oversteer on the exit. Don't want to do a Grosjean. And we will come back out onto the track down in P17. They're just ahead of Kevin Magnussen. Team saying there's still a chance for points. Let's get it. Always love coming back to Silverstone on the Formula 1 games, you know, in a really high downforce car. I do absolutely love this place. Not such a fan of it in things like GTs and stuff like that, but yeah, in a Formula 1 car, you really sort of appreciate how special this place is on the Formula 1 calendar here. But trying to close up to Nicholas Latifi. Battery management is going to be absolutely critical in the dying stages of this race as well. Of course, we saw some brilliant battles here in 2019, but are we going to be close enough to go for a send on Latifi? Yes, we are. Clean up the inside of the Williams, and I think he understood, yeah, there was no real point in trying to fight that. Up into P16 once more.
Gap ahead is 6.0 seconds.
Right, in the final couple of corners, once again we're taking a big chunk of time out of Pierre Gasly, who's now just in front of us. New fast lap of the Grand Prix as well, dipping under the 130s.
Fastest lap of the race.
So team pretty happy with that one as well. There's we took about 4 seconds out of Pierre on the last lap. Surely, yeah, this time round we'll be able to look past him down the hangar straight, if not before. There we go. Big run on Pierre Gasly as we head out onto the old start finish straight here. So much history around this track, but we're going to have a look back at the inside in towards the old turn 1. Gasly, nothing he can do there. Make sure we keep it in track limits though. On the exit of the corner, P15. Ricciardo another 3 seconds up the road, and our teammate Ackerman just in front of him. Another new fast lap of the Grand Prix at 29.5 this time round, as Ricciardo just 1.5 seconds in front of us. But he'll get some DRS off Ackerman, so he might be difficult to get round. Right, come on then, Danny Rick. Let's see what you've got in that Renault there. Look at the slingshot we get off the corner. Going to be clean up the inside before we can get back down towards the old turn 1. No, we're not. Ricciardo using way more of his battery in the Renault there, but firmly up the inside still. And now up into P14 of the Grand Prix. We've got Ackerman just in front of us, as well as Sebastian Vettel just a second up the road. So we'll get some DRS on our teammate here. Can we get a nice slingshot on him? Is there going to be more fireworks between the pair of us? No, there's not this time round. Ackerman, nothing he can do to defend from us at this stage of the Grand Prix. We'll slot in front of him in towards the corner. You know, just make it clear this is definitely our position, and he's not going to be able to do anything to try and come back at us here as we close up to Seb in his Ferrari in towards the final couple of corners. Let's just wait and see what we can do out of the final turn then. Maybe we can have a look for something back down towards turn 3. Completely flat, of course, through turn 1 despite all the downforce lost from the car in front. Up the inside of Seb we go. And we will get that move done nice as well. Now we just got 3 more laps. The gap to Albon up in 10th place there, about 3 seconds. But Devin Butler right behind him. Right, come on then. Closing up to Devin Butler. we got to make sure we get past him. Here's another new fast lap of the Grand Prix. We're still finding more and more pace in this Alfa Romeo here. But can we try and get a run on Devon in towards turn 3? Do what we did to Seb a lap ago. Up the inside we go. I'm sure that'll have got the home crowd roaring. Up now into P11, sorry, of the Grand Prix on lap 12. I'm adamant they've swapped over where the lap and position counters are on F1 2021, and it's messing with my head. But Albon, though, 1 second up the road, the man between us and the points. Let's get him. Trying to stick close to Albon as we head through the Maggott and Beckett section once more around this British Grand Prix circuit. Now, hopefully, we can try and look past the Red Bull as we head down the hangar straight here. Of course, not technically Albon's home Grand Prix, but as close as he's going to get to one in this season. Down around the outside of Albon in towards Sector 3 there, and clean around the outside we go. And that is a beautiful little move back up into the points of this Grand Prix there. The team very, very happy with that one as well. But 1 lap to go. Perez 2 seconds up the road. Maybe we can just get a tiny bit more here as another fastest lap of the day. It's going to be mighty close between Perez and myself at the end of this Grand Prix here. But are we going to potentially get an opportunity to have a look past him there? Hamilton wins another British Grand Prix here at Silverstone in emphatic fashion, once ahead there, ahead of Bottas and Max Verstappen there. But Perez, he's still a second up the road, but as we go purple through Sector 2, that's just how hard we're pushing at the latter stages of this Grand Prix. We've pretty much completely drained the battery as we head in towards the final few corners here at the British Grand Prix. Can we potentially double our points haul here at Silverstone? Perez is going to sit on the apex through the final couple of corners here, and I don't think it's quite going to be enough. We're going to get all over the back of him through the final corner, but it's not enough in the end, and it's P10.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. What a race for young Aiden Jackson. If he can keep this up, he's got a long, promising career in front of him.
Absolutely. He'll have been gutted about that puncture. Imagine what kind of challenge he'd have been able to make without it. You've got to give it to him though. He gritted his teeth and pulled it back. Great driving.
Now whisper it quietly, but things seem to be on the up for Alfa Romeo's Aiden Jackson. One to watch. After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So, at the end of Chapter 4, then, despite suffering a puncture mid-race, Jackson manages to overcome the odds, securing a brilliant points finish for Alfa Romeo at the British Grand Prix. Let's head to the post-race. So, the twists and turns of the British Grand Prix with another display of fantastic control and determination. The new Alfa Romeo driver, Aiden Jackson, is certainly proving his worth. The young driver started strong in the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, only to fall foul of a puncture just as he was finding his pace. And yet, even though he was forced to pit, Jackson pushed on with terrific grit to gain places and even finish in the points. A fantastic result for Aiden Jackson, and that one was welcomed by his home crowd here at Silverstone. Hamilton may be Britain's #1 son, and rightfully so, but people are beginning to wonder if Jackson might be the future, the favourite new kid on the block. And speaking of Hamilton, are any of us surprised? Another incoming call from Brian. Let's see what this is about.
Brian,
Well, someone's the hot topic in the press room.
what do you mean?
Oh, come on. There's no need to be so modest.
What are you on about, Brian?
Well, after that puncture, everyone thought you'd lost it. But to pull it back and into the points, it's all anyone's talking about.
Well, I'm glad the press is starting to take notice.
Oh, get used to it. They put a bunch of interviews in your diary for tomorrow. It's why I was calling.
Right, thanks for letting me know.
So don't celebrate too hard tonight, eh?
Yeah, alright, Brian. Don't worry. I'm only going to see my mum.
Right. Well, each to their own.
See you later, Brian.
There we go then. Brian is happy enough with that result. Things you love to see. Any other things to talk about? Everyone just, very, very impressed with the result there. The grumpy old fan. This Jackson lad's alright, you know. I've seen far more experienced drivers crumble when a race doesn't go to plan. Streamer tips apparently is this in? I don't know. Perhaps that's some useful information for me as well there. Anything more in the emails? Fred Vasseur very, very happy with the result as well there, and then Saskia as well. Obviously just saying that she'll bring the mum around as well there. But anyway, let's head into Chapter 5. So, Chapter 5 then, while the grid heads to Monaco, the team at Alfa Romeo have managed to find some welcoming consistency during the second half of the 2020 season. Both drivers are hungry to gain ground in the competition, but Aiden Jackson is determined to outperform his teammate Casper Ackermann, both in the standings and in the eyes of the team. Let's head to Monza.
I'm not sure if it's something to do with the energy storage. I'm losing power on the straights. Right. And you said the acceleration was okay? I'll take a look at it.
And how are we today, chaps? Everything running smoothly, I hope.
All right, Brian. Yeah, we're just going through a few last-minute tweaks.
Ah, that's what I like to see. With dedication like that, maybe you'll be able to get us back a few more of those points, eh?
Yeah, I'll try.
Actually, Aidan, I'm glad I've caught up with you. Thought you might like to know. I had a call this morning from Mattia Binotto. Mentioned you directly.
Oh.
I think they're sniffing around for next season. You're being watched.
So, no pressure then?
So, what's the problem with the car?
I'm losing power on the straights. It's not a massive issue. I'm sure we can deal with it.
Yeah, theoretically, do we have time to install the Spec 2 unit before the race?
Yes, boss.
And Casper's reporting no problems?
No.
Okay, let's do it. Put the Spec 2 in Aiden's, would you?
Well, that would sort it. I mean, if you're sure.
Of course. You could do with a little boost. A little boost. Besides, anything for our star driver. Casper, how are you today? Feeling good about the race?
Oh, it's all heated up at this stage of the year there. But anyway, Devon's in the details. A chat with AlphaTauri driver Devon Butler. Not too interested in that, I'll be honest. Sainz apparently lands at Ferrari from McLaren, so Binotto might be looking for us as well? Don't really know what's going on there then. But anyway, we've got another call from Brian. Let's just listen in quickly.
Brian.
Aidan, I'm glad I've called you. Listen, don't worry about Casper.
Let me stop you there. Brian, Casper's the furthest thing from my mind right now. I've got a race to focus on.
Good man. In the garage just now, that was my fault. I know how he can be.
What, childish? Self-centered? I'm sick of it, Brian. He's been on my case ever since I joined the team. He needs to grow up.
Okay. You just leave Casper to me and get your head in the race. Let's put that new power unit to good use, eh?
Sure thing, Brian. See you on the other side.
It's all getting a little bit down at Alfa Romeo at the moment. But anyway, obviously heading to the Italian Grand Prix as well. Obviously everyone talking about Tifosi and everything like that. And of course Renault as well are going to be announcing themselves as Alpine, ready for the 2021 season. Anything else to note, of course? Don't think there's anything there. Saskia just giving us some more updates as well, of course. But yeah, let's head to the Italian Grand Prix. Fresh power unit in the back of the car. Let's do this thing. So Jackson looks to take advantage of his car's new power unit to the vexation of his teammate Cass Ackerman. With the grid set, his focus locked in, Jackson is eager to show Ackerman why Alfa Romeo signed him. Let's get into race day here from Monza.
Welcome one and all, and we're in for a real treat at this classic circuit here today. The crowd are ready to go, the cars are ready to go, and we're just about set for lights out. Welcome to the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds reaching 215 miles per hour, only a few places can challenge Monza's crown as the fastest circuit in F1. Hard braking zones going into the 3 chicanes make up the majority of the 11 corners on this 3.6-mile circuit. And just in case the slipstream wasn't enough, 2 DRS zones will help encourage some closer action. Here we are then, Monza, the 90th time this event has been held, so a special year for F1 fans, particularly the Italians, who are rightly proud of this event and its heritage.
Yeah, it always feels a bit special here, doesn't it, Crofty? Hamilton holds the joint record with Schumacher for number of wins here at 5 apiece, but could snatch it outright today with a 6.
Nearly 100 years of history here, so let's see what this year holds in store for the Italian Grand Prix. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Ackerman, Carlos Sainz, and Perez. Norris, Ricciardo, Stroll and Alexander Albon, Ocon, Leclerc, Pierre Gasly and Butler, Vettel, Grosjean, George Russell and Aiden Jackson, Magnussen and Nicholas Latifi. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Right, let's see if we can squeeze some performance out of this new power unit. Good luck out there today.
Right, well here we are then, ready on the grid for the Italian Grand Prix. Not too sure what went on in qualifying to put us down in P18 with Casper starting on the second row of the grid, but hopefully we can keep it clean and tidy. We're going to do a soft-medium strategy here today, of course, at Monza, but another 25% race ahead of us is going to make things very, very interesting here today. We need to be aggressive, but we need to be clean as well. Don't want to waste this new fresh power unit as well in this one today. Let's dive in then to the Italian Grand Prix. Ackerman we need to beat in this one starting from P4. It's 5 red lights. And it is a very long hole, but it is lights out. And away we go. A lot of wheel spin as we try and utilise every inch of every pony of this new power as we head down towards turn 1. There are a lot of movement around from a lot of other cars as we'll go deep on the brakes in towards turn 1 there. Find a little bit of an avenue up the inside there, and that has been the dream start to the Italian Grand Prix. They're straight into P14, there might be P13 as we'll try and get past Pierre Gasly there, of course the real life winner of this Grand Prix in 2020. Devin Butler now just behind us once more in this race as well. Gasly, oh, tried to turn across me there, couldn't quite hold on to it though as we do send it up the inside, and now up to P13 already as we head into the Lesmo. Charles Leclerc, obviously, it's Ferrari's home Grand Prix as well as our own. Let's see what... Alfa Romeo's own race, I should say, of course, not Sauber's. But yeah, let's see if we can try and get past him sooner rather than later. Trying to get a good run on Charles Leclerc out of the final corner. Let's see, he's going to try and have a look past Ocon as well there, but I think he might just get a little bit boxed in at the end of lap 1 there. Casper's still up in P4s, but just trying to get the run on Charles Leclerc there. That Ferrari, though, has got tremendous top-end speed. We'll send it up the inside of both him and Ocon in towards turn 1 then. Nice and controlled on the brakes, and that will be another cheeky double overtake through the first corner, and already P18 to P11, and we're only 1 lap in. Oh, big run out of Ascari on Lance Stroll here. Managing the battery is going to be critical though around a track with so few places where you can lift and coast. But Stroll, yeah, just defending from us this time around. Then we get tremendous drive out of the final corner though, out of the what is the final called? Parabolica. I can't remember the names around this lap. The DRS has now been enabled. We need to remember to use a bit more battery as we head back down towards the one there. Daniel Ricciardo just up the road as well, as we're going to slot in just ahead of Lance Stroll. I don't quite feel we were close enough to dive the Australian, but I'm at a 10th, still making forward progress every lap. Oh, getting some DRS on Daniel Ricciardo now in his Renault car, of course, being rebranded to Alpine for next year there. A lot of questions about where Ricciardo's going to be going next at the moment, as Alonso and Ocon have already been confirmed for Renault for 2021. Rumour has it he's off to McLaren to replace Carlos Sainz, who of course has gone to Ferrari, but you never know for sure. P9 now. Norris and Albon duking out as we head back down towards turn 1. Is the McLaren going to be able to go for a send on the Red Bull? You can see
you are free to race.
So we're free to race, but he's already stuck in battle with Sergio Perez there as Lando Norris. Horrible drive out of the first chicane. They're down in towards Curva Grande. Ackerman, though, you can see on wheel to wheel with Perez up the road there. So both Alfa Romeos locked into battle. But look at the McLaren top-end speed as he very, very aggressively cuts in on me there. Ackerman holds on to P4 at the road, but it is all heating up here at Monza. We're only 4 laps in. Oh, there we go. Norris, big run out of the second Lesmo there as we're going to head down the back straightaway. But that McLaren is so fast down the straights. Obviously still with this Renault power unit at the moment there, as Ackerman has now been jumped by Sergio Perez in this Grand Prix. So he's clearly struggling in the other Alfa Romeo there as we get another run on Lando Norris. Going to have to use a load of our battery in towards the final corner. New strategy from the team. We'll have a look at that out of the final turn as we're still side by side with Lando Norris there. Clean around the outside we go though. Cut him off on the exit. The team wants to go even deeper into the race on these tyres, so that might be exactly what we do. As now we've got Sainz and Albon going side by side back down towards turn 1. Everyone just jockeying for positions at this stage. Ackerman looking past Perez. It's just chaos everywhere here at Monza. And I'm all for it. Albon, horrible run at the first chicane there, but we're just going to get boxed in on the exit and nowhere for us to go in that instance, as Albon and Sainz, yeah, still side by side. Perez and Ackerman still side by side at the road. Who's going to come out on top in these battles? Perez and Sainz by the looks of it. Right, let's try and get a good run on Carlos Sainz out of the Ascari chicane there. We did the same move to Lando Norris just one lap ago. And it is still going to be a drag race down in towards the final corner. Get deeper on the brakes. We've got so much confidence into there. And that is going to be us now up to P7 of this race. The Alfa Romeo is certainly one of the best cars in the midfield at this stage of the year. There is going to get a nice run on Albon. Back down towards turn 1 as well. Of course, Red Bull not the best car down the straight. So this should be a nice, simple move on the Thai driver. Almost too deep on the brakes there, but we get it slowed down. As now Ackerman, our teammate, right in front of us. Let's just see how much more poke we've got down the straight. Then our teammate Ackerman there is again. He makes a little bit of a mistake out of the second Lesmo here. Side by side we go. And he's going to give us a big old squeeze down the back straightaway here. Who is going to come out on top as we head in towards the next corner there? Much, much deeper on the brakes. And I was surprised Ackerman gave up that one as easily as he did there. But now up into P5 of the Grand Prix ahead of our teammate. Remember, we started P18 in this race there. And now surely we can have a look past Perez. Back down towards turn 1 here. He's going to have no DRS. Obviously, Max Verstappen way up the road here. Still trying to battle it out with the Mercedes. A look at that. Clean up the inside we go. Before we even get to the DRS zone. And we're now up into P4 of the Grand Prix here. Best of the rest. And hopefully this is where we can stay. Oh, we got Hamilton, the first man into the pit lane here. So Bottas and Verstappen are going to now be duking it out for the race lead. They could trip over each other though and potentially gift Hamilton an even bigger margin when all the stops are done. There we go, Verstappen and Bottas into the pit lane, so we are going to inherit the lead of this Italian Grand Prix there. Our teammate as well does dive into the pit, so at least there's no tripping over each other in the pit stops here. There's a big opportunity for Alfa Romeo to pick up some big points today. We're going to dive in at the end of this one though. Right, rounding Parabolica once more here in this Italian Grand Prix. We've really extended this soft stint, the same can be said for Albon and Lance Stroll, but we need to make sure we get it slowed down nice and tidy. There we go, beautiful into the pit lane here as well. Actually finally changed the settings to the way I like. Albon, of course, and Lance Stroll, neither of them trying to extend the stint any longer than we already have there. And you can see Perez and Ackerman still very close together in this race. Nice 2.6 second stop. Is going to mean we're still going to be behind the big three in this Grand Prix, but hopefully does now mean we can try and just bring the car home there. So I think Bottas has definitely lost out a little bit from the pit stop window there. We're going to be about 2.5, 3 seconds behind. But I think, yeah, we just got to try and bring this thing home. Out of nowhere.
That's a new fastest lap of the race.
New fast lap of the Grand Prix with just a couple of laps to go here. Perez and Bottas, Verstappen and Bottas even, are still duking it out at this late stage of the Grand Prix there, and it is allowing us to get a little bit closer, but I don't think we're going to get close enough by the end.
We've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
Heading down into Ascari then for the final time in this Italian Grand Prix, and yeah, unfortunately in the end, there's not quite enough pace to match Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas here. Hamilton, though, is going to come around the final corner to win his record-breaking 6th Italian Grand Prix there. He beats the record once shared between him and Michael Schumacher here at Monza, and wins the 2020 Italian Grand Prix there. Bottas comes through for P2, Verstappen P3, and we settle for P4 from 18th on the grid.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Well, quite the rivalry forming between the rookie Aiden Jackson and his veteran teammate Casper Ackerman.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit of when Hamilton signed for McLaren back in 2007. And we all know how that one ended. Alonso returned to Renault pretty much the moment the season wrapped up.
Well, let's hope it doesn't come to that. So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. So it's a decent result for you today with a finish in the points. How are you feeling, Aidan?
I'm just glad I could deliver for the team. Casper and I are both trying to push ourselves as much as we can, so it can get a bit competitive. It is a good feeling to be the one coming out on top.
A big talking point, irrespective of today's results, is how you've improved overall throughout the season. What would you say to that?
I couldn't do it without the support of the team. They've been incredible. I'm feeling looked after, and I couldn't ask for more. So any improvements are thanks to them.
It's funny you should mention the team as a whole. Can you give us an update? How is the current relationship between you and Casper Ackerman?
Casper's got a way about him, you know? He's hot-headed. He can get offended easily. I'm learning that I've just got to accept that. Any problems are his, not mine.
Appreciate your time.
So here we are then, at the end of the season. We've got a couple more races to go next time out at the Mexican Grand Prix, and then I'm guessing obviously we'll have a finale at Abu Dhabi as well there. But yeah, decided we jump in with a couple of races once more, but the inter-team rivalry is getting mega between myself and Casper at this stage of the season there. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed. Of course, Breaking Point will be returning tomorrow with more daily content as well, of course. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back soon, ready for the Mexican Grand Prix. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive, massive thank you to the Travesty, Patrick and Chuan for being a member of the channel. If you guys want to help us out as well, obviously you can join for just £1 a month with some other exclusive perks by clicking the join button down below.